Hi, everybody. It's time for our week ahead spread for Monday, June 8th through Sunday, June 14th. Here are our three cards for our standard three questions, which are what do we need to think about this week? What do we need to do this week? And what is the challenge that we face this week? As you can see here, we've got the Three of Swords, the Seven of Cups, and the Two of Swords. So let's get started, shall we? First up, we've got what do we need to think about this week? And for that, we got the Three of Swords. This is a new deck called Tarot Illuminati by Erik C. Dunne. And so the meaning's a little bit different than normal. So I'm going to kind of read those out and then we'll go from there. So it says Three of Swords, the existential sorrowing. Never quite heard it put that way. So with this deck, it stands for sorrow, existential suffering, anguish at the suffering in the world, seeing the pain of others, realization of pain in life, grief and suffering, offering healing and redemption, harsh truths, truths that hurt, and the aching heart. Well, that's a lot to think about. And I think what Spirit is trying to point out to us this week, what kind of just stood out for me is looking around and seeing the anguish and the suffering of those in the world. We're seeing it all around. You've got countries over on the African continent that you've got the Ebola virus that is rampaging out of control and can very easily slip the noose and become worldwide, much like what we saw with COVID. Except this go round, the current administration has dismantled all of the items that could help prevent that from happening. He's done away with all of that. So wash your hands, wear a mask in public, and be responsible. So I think not just that, but there's just so much other. You've got the people of Albania who are infuriated over the Kushners deciding that they're just going to purchase a protected island that was earmarked as a protected sanctuary for flamingos, for sea turtles, for several other species of animals or mammals or fish or whatever that are all on a watch list to keep them from becoming extinct. And so the island is a protected land space, not to be owned by any one person. And evidently the Kushners decided that they wanted to build a resort on this island. To hell with the protected animals, mammals, and fish that live there. The people of Albania are pissed off, shall we say. So that's something else to kind of pull in and to think about, as well as just all of the normal, everyday, day-to-day crap that we have to put up with this current administration. It gets very tiring and very exhausting, but it is also very important for us to think through these things, to see them through their logical conclusion, to be aware, fully aware of what it is that we're having to deal with. This is what we're being told to think about this week. Now, that leads us to the next question. What do we need to do this week? We got the Seven of Cups, best known as Delusion. With this deck, the Seven of Cups is listed as the power of the imagination. And the keywords for this card with this deck is everything begins in the imagination, and nothing can become without the mind first conceiving it. I like the thought of that one. The imagination and what it can create, daydreams, illusion and seduction, difficulty distinguishing between illusion and reality, hallucination, uncertainty, smoke and mirrors, options to choose from. Not all is as it appears. So we take this. What do we need to do this week? With that, we're being given the Seven of Cups. So I feel like what Spirit is saying is that we're being told that what we want to see our world become, how we want to see our world be, what is, according to us, the most opportunistic world that we can live in. Hang on. Okay, sorry, my phone rang. And I didn't know where it was. I had to find it. Where did I leave off? Oh, illusion, delusion. We have looked around and we see all the sorrow, all of the anguish, all of the grief that is going on in the world around us. And now we're being shown what to do this week. We are being told that we have all of these options within our imagination, and that we have to first think it through before we can bring it into being, before we can conceive it. So how do we want our world to be? What kind of world do we want to live in? And in order to manifest that and to work on that, we have to think about it and bring those thoughts into a cohesive plan of action, I guess I should say. We have to not get drugged down by illusion. Be careful not to fall into hallucinations or uncertainty. Watch out for the smoke and mirrors that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. There are options to choose from, and not all options are as it appears. Yeah, okay, I said that right. Sorry, that kind of threw me off there with the phone. So it's important for us to continue with where we started with question 1. What do we need to think about? And bring it into question 2. What do we need to do about this? And again, that's using our imagination. That's deciding what kind of world do we want to live in? What do we want it to look like? What do we want to see around us as being fulfilling and bringing happiness and bringing joy? And for that, you have to start with the imagination. Okay, sorry. I had people walking through the room, crumpling paper and stuff. Where did I leave off? Okay, we have to take into account exactly what it is and exactly how it is that we want our world to appear. That's all a part of manifesting. So you don't want to think about the negative stuff. Well, I don't want this. Well, I don't like that. take that out. You've heard me say this a gazillion times. Think about the positive. What do you want? What would you like to see? What kind of leadership would you like to have running the country? And instead of putting our focus and our energy into the negative things, start thinking and reacting on positive things. And for that, it starts with the imagination. Sit down and really think about, what kind of leadership do I want? How do I want my world to look? How do I want my community to function? How do I want my family to function? And when you take all of that into account, then that allows you to draw that clear picture into your mind so that you can then follow through with the proper steps of how to get there. Now, step one, sit down with a piece of paper and write it out. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be grammatically correct. Just write it down. Just, write down. I would like intelligent leadership. I would like leadership with a sense of humor that isn't based on hurting other people. I would like to see my community become more prosperous. What would that entail? I would like to see our country get along with other countries around the world so that we all work together on things. Okay, what are the steps we need to take for that? It sounds very simplistic to the point that people almost feel insulted by it, but that's the basic way of manifesting, of doing things and getting things to function and operate the way you would like to see them function and operate. And part of that mental exercise is then going into the physical exercise of sitting down and actually doing that. Write it out, make out a list, everything positive you can think of. How do you want things to be run? How do you want things to happen in your life, in your home, in your job, in your community, in your state, in your country, on the planet? You can take it as far out as you want or keep it as far in as you need. This is something that you get to decide. Okay, so from there, we go to the third question. What is the challenge that we face this week? For that, we get the Two of Swords, the fulcrum of the mind. I like the way they put that. So it says, pause during decision making, being at the crossroads, fear of a decision, change being imminent, the balance between two options, being in two lines, choice presented, change is the only constant, weighing up your options, paradox, stillness during changing states. Now there's a lot of different kind of directions you can go with this. And as a challenge, I think that the biggest challenge we have to face is to pause during decision making. So many things go wrong because we don't take that extra pause. Count to 10 before you make a decision. We tend to just jump right in. We're going to do it. We're going to take care of it. Get out of the way. I'm moving, blah, 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 blah. That is not always the best decision to make. Think of it as being at a crossroads. Are you going to go left or are you going to go right? Or are you just going to sit right down in the middle of the damn road and wait for somebody else to come along and tell you which direction to go in? If you choose that option, then you have no voice to speak against that option because you gave up your control for that decision. So it's being at that crossroads and then making that decision. That's part of that challenge. It's acknowledging the fear of making that decision. A lot of people don't make definitive decisions, not because they're not smart enough to make them, but because they are afraid to make them. So again, another challenge that we have to look at. A lot of times we forget to balance or weigh out more than one option of what we can do. That's another challenge, to overcome that fear, to overcome that desire to not make any decision at all. Being in two minds, well, that's easy enough to do, and that's definitely a challenge that we would have to face. Weighing our options, weighing in the stillness during changing states. I like that last phrase there. Stillness during changing states. A lot of times our challenge is we have things that are changing, things that are going on. We're having to move, even though we weren't looking to have to move, but that choice kind of got taken away from us. We have to move. We have a month and a half to do it. It looks like everything's going according to plan for the new place we're going to move into. So I'm trying to think of how to put this. So part of the challenge is learning and knowing that it's okay to take that pause before you make a decision so that you have the ability to think it out clearly and thoroughly before you're like, okay, this is the direction I'm going in. That's a big challenge. For a lot of us, it's a really difficult challenge to go there because we don't, because we're either afraid of making that decision or we're afraid that we will cause harm to other people for our decisions. Those are all challenges that we face. A lot of us face those challenges day to day to day. Well, that's just life. So again, it's important to think through what it is you want to see this week. Then follow up by doing something about it. And lastly, facing that challenge of knowing that the decisions we make and the actions we take do have consequences. And have we thought through what those consequences will be? So I think that's the biggest point that I feel like this is going, is taking that step and saying, okay, this is where my thoughts went. This is what I need to do to present those thoughts. And this is the challenge I face once I make those decisions. And I think that once we get to that point, we will find peace for ourselves because we're no longer having to wait on someone else to decide for us. We're no longer having to worry about, did we make the right decision, the wrong decision, whatever. The point being is that we use that decision, that challenge that we face, and we face it head on so that we know we've thought it out. We know we've written down every step of what we want to see done and how we want to see it done. Our challenge is to follow through and to not give up. So that's what I got for you this week. A couple of days late getting this out. I do apologize. It has been madness in my house this past week. So y'all have a great week. We will definitely talk again tomorrow. And be willing to face your challenges. Think them through. Know exactly what direction you want to go in. And step out and face those challenges. And you will find that your life becomes not only happier, but more fulfilling. Okay, y'all have a great day. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.